Good morning, Mary. I saw the beautiful flowers on your desk this morning. Don't talk to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt anything. But you did. Like usual. Just leave me alone. Okay, sorry to have bothered you. The least you could have said is that you're sorry for my loss, you know. Your loss? Yes, my stepfather died yesterday, and yet here I am, hard at work. Oh, Mary, please forgive me. I didn't know, and yes, I am sorry for your loss. Dan was a really great guy. I hadn't heard about his passing. How do you know his name? And how dare you call him by his first name? He is Mr. Jackson to you. Excuse me? Being informal with your subordinates is one thing, but your superiors? I'd have thought you had more sense and character than to be so offhand. My apologies. Hope you have a good day. Hey, Sarah. Did you hear about Mary's stepdad? Have you checked out all the flowers on her desk? She's been sitting there crying all day. One card I saw laying open on the desk said, "Nobody as great as you should have to suffer such a sad moment." I about gagged. What? Why? Are you kidding? She is about the nastiest, snobbiest, most narcissistic person I ever met. I hate having her as team manager. I wonder if the boss man has ever actually seen her working with us. You know, she acted really weird today when I called her stepdad by name. Did you know him? I dated his son Seth years ago, high school, before he married Mary's mother. Does Mary know that? I don't know. Why would she? I was a kid, and like I said, it was before he was in Mary's life. Something smells as fishy here as a crab boil in the summertime. You've got that right. That night, Sarah went online to her old boyfriend Seth's Facebook page. There was nothing there about his father's passing. In fact, from what she could tell, Dan and Mary's mother April were off touring Europe. Not a word about Dan Jackson's death. Sarah, you will have to pick up the slack around here while I'm away for my stepfather's funeral. He and my mother moved to North Carolina last year, so I'll have to take some time off to go there. Okay. What's that supposed to mean? I know you can't do your job and mine too, but you can help out. You and your little friend, Jaylene, should be able to figure out how to manage for a week. You won't be able to do things to my standards, but beggars can't be choosers. Sure, Mary. Have you already spoken to Jay? No, you'll need to do that. I'm leaving at noon today. I have a plane to catch. Give my regards to the family. What? Why would I do that? It's not as if you knew them. But I did. What? How? I don't believe you. We lived next door for most of my childhood. I dated Seth, Dan's son. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Jackson's son. What? You never told me that. Why haven't I heard that? I don't know. It was a long time ago. I don't talk about it much. Sarah, come to my office immediately. Sure. What's going on? I'm on the other side of the building grabbing materials, so it's going to take a few minutes. Just drop everything and come right now. Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. You'd better stop by your desk and collect your things before you come in. As I'm sure you can guess, you're being let go. You can't get away with theft in this office. What? Theft? What are you talking about? I just spoke with Richard in HR, as well as my supervisor, Damien. You stole a coworker's purse and used her debit card. Don't try to deny it. She's already confirmed. Her purse was found in the dumpster behind the building, minus cash, a debit card, and credit cards. We've sent the bag to the police and are demanding they check fingerprints. You've got to be joking. I've never stolen anything from anyone. Isn't that what all criminals say when they're caught? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. It really isn't me. I really did not do it. Sarah, what happened? Everyone says you got fired. For theft? Yes, I'm sure that's what's being said. Mary fired me, via text message pretty much. Going into her office was a mere formality, where she wanted me to sign paperwork admitting to the charges and breaking off relationship with this business. Tell me you didn't sign. Of course I didn't sign. I didn't steal that purse from whomever says I did. Oh, Lord. Ariel. She's the one who said her purse was stolen. I overheard someone talking about it in the break room. Ariel? I've never had a disagreement with her. I've only actually seen her maybe twice, ever. She and Mary are thick as thieves. What'd you do to piss Mary off anyway? I have absolutely no idea. She turned on a dime when I mentioned that I used to date her stepfather's son, Seth, the one I told you about yesterday. And there's something very weird going on, too. Like? I checked Seth's Facebook last night after hearing about his dad passing. There wasn't one word about it. In fact, there were pictures of Mary's mom and Seth's dad having the time of their life touring Europe. You don't think she's lying about that guy dying, do you? So she can get tea and sympathy, along with a nice little vacation, out of it? But why fire me? What did I ever do to her? You know the family. You're the only one in the office who could actually find out if she's lying. And you should. Contact Seth. Are y'all still on speaking terms? We haven't talked in a few years, but we broke up on good terms. He was going away to Boston to go to college. I stayed in state for school. We just never picked up our relationship again. Do it, Sarah. Let's get this evil woman fired. She's horrible anyway. Have you ever met anyone with more narcissistic tendencies in your life? She spends more time on her phone and computer than she actually does working, chatting her days away while we work our butts off. Well, the evil witch has gone, flown the coop. I sent a private message to Seth's Facebook account a few minutes ago, just asking how he and the family were doing. Girl, you let me know when he responds. I want to know what tea gets spilled. Will do. Later. Sarah, long time no talk to. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for accepting my request. No problem. It's going great. Working hard. My wife and I are expecting our first baby this summer. So, what's up with you? Well, it's kind of a long story. Can I ask you something? Of course, anything. You know that. Do you have a good relationship with your stepsister, Mary? Oh, Lord, her. I can't stand her. Just between you, me, and the fence post, that is. Why? She's my boss. Or was. I got fired. I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Let me tell you what happened. But first, is your dad okay? He sure is. He and my stepmom, April, they're having the time of their lives. I think they're flying to Ireland tomorrow. Why do you ask? Well, I wondered. Here's what happened. Oh my God. If you could hear me laughing right now, you'd want to call the freaking paramedics. My stomach is killing me. That bitch has had a comeuppance coming for some time. She had Dad fooled for a while, but he's been on to her for over a year. She was horrible to me since they got together. So jealous that Dad and I are close. She's done everything you can imagine to put a wedge between me and my dad. Just you wait. I'm going to put a bug in Dad's ear, and we'll see. Mary's coming back in a week, you said? Yeah, that's what my coworker Jaylene said anyway. Got it. Just hold tight. Your job is safe, I think. Take this week to rest up and do a little Netflix. Order some pizza. Just relax. You won't believe it. Guess who showed up at work today looking all self-satisfied and with one hell of an island tan? Let me guess. Mary? Yep. But that's not why I'm texting you. I was privy to a certain conversation between Brent Michaels, Mary's supervisor, and Mary, and Damien, her immediate supervisor. Honey, let me tell you, this is juicy. Go on. Tell me. Well, Damien, he was the one to give Mary the okay to fire you, right? And all that BS about the police testing Ariel's purse for fingerprints? Yeah, well, turns out the police have absolutely no record of ever speaking to Mary or Ariel. So they brought Ariel in today, the bosses, and she wouldn't look either of them in the eye. And so Mary started on about how you were caught stealing and how you'd used Ariel's debit card and how they had proof. Proof? What proof? I didn't do it. Oh, girl, I know you didn't. Anyway, Mr. Michaels wanted to know exactly what happened because, get this, he is the one who recommended you for the design team. Turns out, he had taken an interest in your work months ago and he got you promoted. So anyway, Damien looks at Mary and goes, so why don't you start at the beginning and tell Mr. Michaels everything you told me? Well then, Mary starts squirming around in her chair, flicking those stupid, pointy, overdone salon nails at some seam in her slacks, How's she even type with those things? That's what I want to know. Anyway, Mr. Michaels, he isn't having it. No way. He repeated what Damien said, only in a louder voice. So Mary goes, Ariel is the real victim in all of this. She told me what happened. I had no reason to doubt what she said. And? Hang on, I'm getting there. Ariel, who now feels like she's been thrown under the bus, 'cause she has, pipes up and says, oh, no, you don't. You are not going to make this about me. You're the one who came up with this. Are you kidding? Guess I shouldn't be surprised. Mary, she's a real piece of work. Well then, Mary stands up and, girl, she was all red and white, blotchy-faced. I thought she was going to have a stroke. Please don't lie, Ariel. You told me that you saw Sarah steal your purse. Then you said you had charges on your debit card made by her. You said that there was security footage from the store. And that's when Ariel butts in and says, no, I never said that. You made it up so Sarah could be fired to protect your little scheme. What? Whoa! Sarah, I gotta tell you, Mary's mouth closed so fast you could hear her teeth click together. But out of the blue, she gets this strange little smile. More of a smirk on her mouth, and quietly says, her voice dripping with such pain, her eyes flooding with tears, and saying they shouldn't be putting her through this interrogation. She's just been through a terrible loss. I wish me snorting could be sent through text. Right? So, Mr. Michaels, he asked her about that. What terrible loss? And she goes, my father died last week. I've just returned from his funeral in North Carolina. And Mr. Michaels, he says, Is that right? Then she goes, Yes, so cut me some slack. I'm drowning in grief. I was rolling my eyes so hard I swear it's amazing it wasn't audible. Oh, geez. You have got to be kidding. Nope, but that's not the best part. Mr. Michaels picked up his phone and told his secretary to send him in. And the door opened, and who was standing there? Dan Jackson in the flesh. Oh, my. If Mary looked like she was going to pass out or have a stroke earlier, this time she dropped into her chair and covered her face. Ha! Yeah, so what then? Well, Mr. Jackson, he just shook his head when he looked at Mary. Mary, he says, why would you lie like this? It saddens me that you always and forever are playing God with people's lives. You've done things like this for years, but making something up, causing a young woman to lose her livelihood to cover your own deceit? If you wanted to take a paid vacation, couldn't you have just asked? Did she get fired? I don't know. But she did clean out her desk. I got the feeling she was just moved to another department. God help them. But the part that got me more than anything was how everyone was talking about those sympathy cards that were pinned up on the master wall, all saying how great, how wonderful, how smart and courageous Mary is. I think she sent half of them to herself. Looks like her handwriting anyway. I looked. Hang on, Jay. I'm getting a call. Poor Mary. She just couldn't stop herself from trying to appear more important in the eyes of everyone around her. And while I'm not a mental health professional, I think it's pretty clear that she has serious issues. Narcissism is no laughing matter, especially when it impacts the lives of innocent bystanders, which happens with alarming frequency for some. Sending herself cards and flowers and needing a reason to do so sent her down a path she just didn't know how to escape from. It was like the proverbial snowball rolling down a mountainside. In the end, she was demoted and quit shortly thereafter. People were talking about her, and not quietly either. Their side-eye glances and whispers, the way they would exit whenever she entered a room, caused her a great deal of discomfort. Rather than apologize and try to mend fences with her coworkers, she simply packed her stuff and left. I received pay for the week I'd been off after being fired, and to my great delight, I was even promoted to Mary's position. Mr. Michaels had wanted me in that position from the start, but Mary had demanded that she get it because she had been with the company just a little longer. I don't know what ultimately became of her, but Seth has been in sporadic contact with me. He said that she left the state, and no one really knows quite where she landed. His dad tried very hard to mend their relationship, but demanded she get help from a professional. In her typical fashion, she walked out, and that's the last anyone saw or heard from her.